Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. La ilaha illallah. I was talking about the word diction and how that describes a process of problem solving and meaning and accomplishment, and how addiction is a healthy part of a problem solving process, moving through prediction, malediction, addiction, moving through the internal dictionary, meeting benediction and valediction, and being able to understand the word contradiction. Now, in a sick situation, what happens is we get stuck addiction, and it sticks at the addiction point. So I want you to try to imagine that each individual has this inner diction chamber, which is personal, and everyone's personal diction chamber is linked to a collective diction chamber and a dictionary. So a corporation or a company has a systemic dictionary, a group diction chamber, and towns and communities and nations linked together as the human condition tries to orientate existentially with a cultural meaning, and when it goes wrong, it sticks at the addiction point. So to come down to an individual, to understand how the collective works, because a collective, a society, is just simply a gathering of individuals, and it is in the individual you can start to see where things can go wrong, but the principles and the processes are the same. In an individual, let's take a drug addict, when it starts to go wrong, an erroneous predictive pathway is chosen, and although at first it seems to work, as it gets worse and the problem actually is not being solved at all, in fact quite the reverse, what happens is the malediction, which is normally there checking and balancing like the monkey on your shoulder, is effectively pushed away and denied and locked away. The addiction process is redoubled to try to get through and force a solution, and then what happens is there's a shearing away from the diction chamber, and the process is dislocated and ruptured. And then you get this hamster wheel of prediction, malediction, or hidden malediction and addiction, which whirls round away from any possibility of making any sense. The diction chamber itself, the inner diction chamber, starts to close down and becomes covered in concrete, and therefore any chance of a new predictive pathway being chosen becomes even slimmer, because the inner connections are broken. And of course all benediction is blocked from entering the system to neutralize as an antidote. So this describes any addicted situation. Instead of pulling away and a new predictive pathway being chosen, which is what would happen in a healthy situation, the whole thing starts to close down. A little bit like the Sleeping Beauty story. Everything starts to go to sleep. The diction chamber, the real meaning of a person, starts to close down. This can happen in an individual and in a collective. You look at Enron, look at some of the sick situations, whether in government or in finance. The normal predictive pathways become diseased, things are forced through, malediction is hidden, denial sets in to the system, you can't believe anything that's said, and it becomes very difficult. So that's a description of what happens in stuck addiction. In the next video I'll talk about how an individual is treated, and how some of those individual treatment methodologies can perhaps be presented to group systems, to company systems, to finance systems, to government systems, to help understand and orientate, and see what is actually happening in some life itself is trying to help move processes along. So that's for the next time. Thank you.